My husband still hadn't cheated. I transmigrated into a novel and became the demure, obedient wife of Vice President Fu Linchuan, chairman of the Fu Group. Everyone mocked me, calling me a shameless gold digger with no self-respect. Even when his arrogant white moonlight, Yitang, returned, I still had to greet her with a smile. Not only that, I secretly gave him condoms, conveniently poking 3 holes in them. But they didn't know I planned to suck up to him for 3 years, just so I could rake in a few billion when we divorced. The more guilty he felt, the more money I'd make. If he accidentally got someone pregnant, I'd consider my financial freedom goal achieved. This was the unwritten rule of the original plot. I adjusted the white wool dress I was wearing in front of the mirror, skillfully tucking a strand of my long black hair behind my ear, and flashed a gentle smile I'd practiced countless times. Perfect. My innocent White Lotus image achieved a perfect score. Fu Linchuan, tonight I'll definitely make you regret it so much you'll want to slap yourself. I gave myself a victory sign in the mirror. It had been 3 years since I transmigrated into this melodramatic rich family novel. On the surface, Jai Wanwen was Fu Linchuan's obedient little wife, but in reality, I was a transmigrator only interested in his assets. The original text stated very clearly, the more I curried favor, the more guilty he'd feel during the divorce, and the more generous the compensation would be. I took a deep breath and pushed open the door to his study. Fu Linchuan sat behind his desk, reviewing documents, his stern face behind his gold-rimmed glasses as cold as ever. Hearing the sound, he didn't even bother to look up. "Hubby," I cooed in a sweet voice, "tomorrow is New Year's Day. Can you spend New Year's Eve with me tonight?" Inside, I cursed, "I know you're off to see your white moonlight, Yitang. I hope my pathetic look makes you so racked with guilt that your heart shatters." To my surprise, Fu Linchuan suddenly put down the documents and pushed me onto the sofa. He propped one hand beside my ear, his sharp gaze behind his glasses startling me. "What did you just say? White moonlight? Why are you asking that all of a sudden?" My heart pounded, but I quickly slipped into my innocent act, blinking wide-eyed. "Huh, what are you talking about? There's no Yitang tonight." Fu Linchuan stared at me for a few seconds, then suddenly stood up and adjusted his suit jacket. "I have a meeting with a client tonight." HMPH, what an unfaithful man. My eyes immediately welled up and I quickly grabbed his sleeve. "But I want to spend New Year's Eve with you." Inside, I thought, can't he even come up with a better excuse? Fu Linchuan suddenly turned back to look at me, his expression a little strange. I quickly turned my face away, trying not to let him see my tears. Actually, I pinched my thigh hard until tears welled up, my voice choked, just like in the script. "If you're busy, then go. If you finish early and still make it back, I'll wait for you." HMPH, I know you're going to find Yitang. Tonight, I'll party hard at the club and watch the real fireworks, for crying out loud. While he turned his back to get his coat, I quickly slipped the prepared condoms into his outer jacket pocket. When the two of them got excited, he'd feel this and immediately remember my thoughtfulness, then feel so guilty he'd want to slap himself. I just knew it. I chuckled madly to myself. Fu Linchuan frowned slightly, scratched his ear, then glared at me. "I'm leaving now. Have a safe trip, hubby." I waved obediently, and as soon as he slammed the door shut, I leapt for joy. "Victory! The plan is a complete success." I hummed a tune as I returned to the bedroom, pulling out my long-hidden battle attire, a sparkling black sequin slip dress. I admired myself in the mirror. So perfect. Jai Wanwen, you're a genius. I tried on the dress, spinning around in front of the mirror, complimenting my figure and seductive curves. Fu Linchuan was truly blind, having a beauty at home yet not appreciating her, instead yearning for that distant shadow. Ding dong, my phone vibrated. It was a message from my best friend, Zia Xiang. "Angel SG is having a party tonight, coming?" I quickly replied. "Absolutely, tonight we party till the roof comes off." After sending the message, I suddenly remembered I needed to review the original plot a bit. I put the dress down, sat cross-legged on the bed, and muttered, calculating the dates. I had transmigrated into this cold CEO's white moonlight romance novel 3 years ago. In the original text, Jai Wanwen was a lovesick supporting character who, to keep the male lead, resorted to every dirty trick, from swapping medicine and deleting emails to slandering the white moonlight. As a result, Fu Linchuan kicked her out, only receiving a mere 1 million in divorce settlement. 1 million? Do they think I'm a beggar? I pouted disdainfully. I was the one who had memorized the entire novel. In the original story, Fu Linchuan felt a pang of guilt towards the original character and intended to give her half his assets, but she made such a fuss that he was disappointed, eventually only giving her 1 million before sending her away. My plan was very simple. Be truly obedient, understanding, avoid making trouble, and ideally, actively help him and his white moonlight rekindle their old flame. When he proactively suggested divorce, his guilt would surely multiply exponentially. By then, with several billion in settlement, I'd be rich, financially free, and could support a few young toy boys. Wouldn't that be more blissful? Thinking of that, I grinned happily and started putting on my makeup. My eyeliner had to be sharp, my lipstick a vibrant red. With this sequin dress, tonight I had to make the whole bar gasp in awe. Just as I finished my lipstick, my phone vibrated again. A message from Zia Xiang. "Doesn't your husband keep a tight leash on you? You're allowed out." I chuckled and typed back. "He's spending New Year's Eve with his white moonlight tonight. He wouldn't even spare a thought for me." After sending it, I suddenly felt something was off. Wait, Fu Linchuan's reaction earlier was strange. How did he utter the words white moonlight? Nowhere in the original text did it say he could read minds. Knock, knock, knock. The sudden knocking on the door startled me. My hand trembled, smudging my lipstick line. "Who is it?" I frowned, my voice a little annoyed. "Ms. Jai, your online order has arrived." The housekeeper's voice came from outside. I breathed a sigh of relief, stood up, and went to open the door. But as soon as I opened it, I froze. Fu Linchuan stood there, wearing a black trench coat, a few snowflakes still clinging to his shoulders as cold as an ice sculpture. His gaze swept from my red lips down to my sequin dress, then paused at my 4-inch heels. Didn't you say you had a social engagement? Why are you back so early?" I awkwardly pulled my dress down. Why is this damn dress so short? Fu Linchuan leaned in and entered the house, closing the door behind him. "I left a meeting," he said, calmly taking off his coat. "After 3 years of marriage, this is the first time you've asked me for something. I couldn't bring myself to refuse." I forced out a dry laugh, screaming internally, "Who needs you to be understanding right now? I'm almost late for my party." My phone in my pocket vibrated nonstop. I knew it was my group of night owl friends calling like crazy. Trying to compose myself, I hurriedly pulled my coat over the revealing dress. "My love, are you hungry? I'll make you some noodles." Fu Linchuan didn't reply. He suddenly reached into my coat pocket. My heart immediately pounded. Damn it, the condom. As expected, his long, slender fingers pulled out the familiar square box. He smirked and asked, "What's this?" My mind went completely blank. I blurted out, "It's not. I didn't leave it." As soon as I said it, I wanted to slap myself. It was no different from confessing. Fu Linchuan smiled faintly, slowly advancing towards me. Reflexively, I backed away until my legs hit the coffee table. His gaze, like an X-ray scanner, swept from head to toe, finally stopping at my fiercely heaving chest. "Jai Wanwen," his voice deepened. "After 3 years of marriage, it seems I haven't fulfilled my husband's responsibilities." I swallowed hard, my back pressed against the wall. "What? Don't tell me. You're impotent, I understand." My mouth was faster than my brain. I'd blurted it out again, wanting nothing more than to bite my tongue and die. "Besides, you also need to preserve yourself for Yitang, otherwise she won't want you anymore." Fu Linchuan's face darkened. A second later, he started unbuttoning his shirt. His slender fingers slowly unfastened each button, revealing his collarbone and solid chest muscles. I stared so hard my eyes almost popped out. This body was even better than what the original text described. Wait. I pushed him away in a panic. "What's wrong with you? Did you take the wrong medicine?" Fu Linchuan suddenly grabbed my wrist, pressing me against the wall, and whispered into my ear, "Tonight, I'll show you whether I'm capable or not." His hot breath on my ear made my legs weak, almost buckling. Just then, *click, the sound of the door opening echoed. Fu Linchuan and I turned our heads simultaneously. The door opened, revealing a girl in a white fur coat with long, silky black hair and large, doe-like eyes as if she'd stepped right out of a romance novel. "Yitang." She looked at Fu Linchuan, his shirt still half unbuttoned, then at me, pressed against the wall. Her eyes instantly welled up. "Linchuan," her voice choked up, as if carrying the world's sorrows. "Did I come at a bad time?" The silence was terrifying for 3 seconds. I quickly broke free from Fu Linchuan's embrace, hurriedly adjusting my messy hair, screaming internally, "Perfect timing, sister. Please take your dog home." Fu Linchuan frowned, slowly buttoning up his shirt. "Why are you here?" Yitang bit her lower lip, her eyes glistening with tears. "I called you repeatedly but couldn't get through." She sneaked a glance at me, her voice trembling as she said, I didn't expect the door password to still be my birthday. I almost burst out laughing. Oh my god, married for 3 years and the house password is still his ex-girlfriend's birthday. Fu Linchuan, you truly are an A-list scum. The door also has facial recognition, you just haven't changed it, Fu Linchuan said, pushing up his gold-rimmed glasses, his tone as casual as if discussing the weather. Thanks for reminding me, I'll change it right away. I secretly rolled my eyes. Go on, keep acting. Who would fall for such a flimsy excuse? Yitang's face turned ashen. She forced out a strained smile and looked at me. You must be Ms. Jai Wanwen, right? Linchuan and I are just old friends catching up on old times. I'm sure you don't mind. The strong scent of green tea is suffocating, sister. Inside, I applauded, but on the outside, I maintained my innocent, hurt expression. I looked at Fu Linchuan plaintively. Hubby, she minds. Fu Linchuan pulled me closer, our fingers interlaced. Yitang, I'm not an approachable person by nature, and I don't have any old friends. Tonight, I just want to spend New Year's with my wife. Hold on, what kind of situation is this? The original script didn't say anything like this. Wasn't Fu Linchuan utterly obsessed with this white moonlight figure? Yitang's eyes turned even redder. Linchuan, I even booked a table at your favorite French restaurant. Please leave, Fu Linchuan coldly cut her off, but when he looked down at me, his eyes softened slightly. Besides, entering someone else's home without permission is against the law. Yitang staggered back a step. I gave up my British citizenship and regained my Chinese citizenship. I almost choked on a laugh. What kind of logic is that? Who asked her about her citizenship? Fu Linchuan remained unmoved. Then you should abide by the law even more strictly. Excellent. This man spares no one when scolding his white moonlight. I stood by, reveling in it, almost wanting to grab some melon seeds to snack on. Yitang suddenly pointed at me. It's because of her, isn't it? Linchuan, you've changed. With that, she immediately turned and ran out the door, even stumbling intentionally to add to the drama. Inside, I screamed, "Don't go, sister. If you go, how am I supposed to party?" Fu Linchuan turned back to look, and I hastily hid my eager expression, but my facial muscles didn't react fast enough, almost spasming. He subtly curved his lips as if trying to suppress a laugh. Jai Wanwen, is your face twitching? I rubbed my face, gritting my teeth to suppress my anger. Hubby, Yitang looks so sad. Do you want to go check on her? Go quickly. It's best if you two just get back together. Divorcing tomorrow morning would be even better. Fu Linchuan started putting on his outer coat and my eyes lit up. There's hope. To my surprise, after he finished dressing, he held out his hand. Let's go, come on. Go where? I asked blankly. I don't want to go anywhere. Didn't you want to go to the bar? Fu Linchuan raised an eyebrow. I looked down at my sequin dress and high heels, then stammered out an excuse. What respectable girl goes to a bar? Fu Linchuan looked at me from head to toe, his eyes full of teasing. Jai Wanwen, don't you think it's contradictory to say that when you're dressed like this? I was completely speechless. I just want to spend New Year's Eve with my beloved husband. I cooed, but inside I was screaming, I just don't want to go with you. Fu Linchuan suddenly leaned down, close to my ear, and whispered, You have 2 choices. 1, follow me obediently, or 2, let me carry you. His hot breath on my ear gave me goosebumps, and I immediately blurted out, I choose the first one. Sitting in the passenger seat, I watched the night scenery outside the window with a heart like ashes. My phone in my pocket vibrated continuously. I didn't even need to look to know Xia Xiang was messaging, cursing me for backing out. Fu Linchuan's phone suddenly rang. The car screen showed an unfamiliar number. He casually pressed answer. Hello, Linchuan, I'm so cold. Yitang's voice, choked with sobs, echoed through the car. Can you come pick me up? I'm at Spring River Bridge. I immediately perked up my ears, listening intently. Here it comes, the classic threat to commit suicide tactic. Fu Linchuan's face was expressionless. Without hesitation, he hung up the call. Inside, I applauded wildly. Excellent. So cold and ruthless. Yitang, open your eyes and see this terrible man's true face. The phone rang again. I quickly pressed the answer button. Fu Linchuan glanced at me but didn't stop me. Linchuan, I've been so miserable these past 3 years. Yitang sobbed, tears falling like pear blossoms in the rain. Every day I miss you. I've sent you so many emails, why haven't you replied? I discreetly peeked at Fu Linchuan, realizing he didn't even twitch an eyebrow. I know you're married now, but I still can't forget you. Yitang became more agitated as she spoke. Now I'm standing at Spring River Bridge. If you don't come, I'll... Fu Linchuan suddenly slammed on the brakes with a screech, almost sending my head into the windshield. Here we go. He's finally decided to go find his white moonlight. My heart was overjoyed to the point of madness, but outwardly I had to appear magnanimous. Hubby, go see what's wrong. If something happens, you'll regret it. Fu Linchuan gave me a cold glare, then said into the phone, "No." He immediately hung up. "You seem disappointed, don't you?" He restarted the car, his tone indifferent. "Not at all." I quickly changed my expression, feigning concern. "I just worry that Yitang might not be thinking clearly." Fu Linchuan grunted softly, saying nothing more. The car stopped in front of a bar, its neon sign, Angel SG, dazzling in the night. What the hell? How did this guy know the party tonight was here? I forced a laugh. Haha, what a coincidence, how wonderful. Wonderful, my foot. Fu Linchuan walked around and opened the car door for me. "Do you need me to carry you down?" "No need." I quickly unbuckled my seatbelt and jumped out of the car as if fleeing. Fu Linchuan suddenly leaned down, close to my ear. "Jai Wanwen, you'd better remember this, you are currently my wife." With that, he held my hand tightly and led me straight inside. His hand was incredibly warm, but a chill ran down my spine. Why is this script deviating so much from the original? The flashing neon lights at the bar entrance made my head spin. Fu Linchuan held my hand, pulling me relentlessly. I almost twisted my ankle 3 times in my high heels. "Slow down, honey," I cried out. The booming music in the bar hammered my ears. Fu Linchuan turned to look at me, then suddenly stopped. I couldn't stop in time and crashed into his back. His solid back was like stone, making my nose ache. Tears almost welled up. "Jai Wanwen," he whispered close to my ear, his warm breath fanning my earlobe. "Dressed like this, aren't you looking for places like this?" I glanced down at my sequin dress, the low-cut top leaving me feeling exposed and cold. Damn it, I should have worn that fur coat earlier. Fu Linchuan led me to a private booth. As soon as I settled in, I saw Zia Xiang in the distance, wildly winking at me. My friend, wearing a black server uniform, carried a tray of drinks, her face full of suspicion. "What's going on here?" I quickly opened my phone. "Zia Xiang, you said your husband was with his ex-girlfriend. Why is he here with you now? My plan has changed. Help, Zia Xiang." "Wait." Fu Linchuan suddenly turned to me. "Who are you texting?" I jumped, almost dropping my phone. "Just a friend." Zia Xiang brought the tray of drinks over, acting deeply, like a bad actress. "Handsome and beautiful guests, what would you like?" Fu Linchuan didn't even bother to look up. "A soda for me, please, thank you." Zia Xiang's mouth twitched. She turned to me. "And for you, madam?" Before I could open my mouth, Fu Linchuan cut in, "A watermelon juice for her." "What? I came here to party, not to drink fruit juice like a child." Zia Xiang looked at me with a "what's wrong with these two" expression, then started typing messages. "Is your husband cosplaying a retired official, ordering soda and watermelon juice at a bar?" "Don't ask any more questions." Fu Linchuan leaned close to my ear again and whispered, "If you want alcohol, just tell me." I immediately transformed into an innocent young girl. "Oh, honey, I have a very low alcohol tolerance. Just a little bit and I'm completely drunk." In reality, I could drink an entire group of northeastern men under the table. Zia Xiang placed the drinks on the table, quickly texting, "Great acting, you two are a perfect match." Fu Linchuan unexpectedly reached out and gently stroked my head. "Dressed so lightly, aren't you cold?" I almost spat out my watermelon juice. What's wrong with this guy today? He's usually so cold and indifferent. Why is he clinging to me like this today? Zia Xiang kept texting from afar. "Your husband is really handsome, but you two don't seem compatible at all." "How do you seduce him so well?" I winked back and typed, "Good in bed." "You're truly number one, boss Zia Xiang." I was about to type more when Fu Linchuan unexpectedly placed his hand on my phone. "Jai Wanwen." Huh, his eyes behind his glasses narrowed. "Do you think I can find someone truly trustworthy in this lifetime?" Huh, why the sudden philosophical question? I stood there dumbfounded. Before I could even think of an answer, the bar entrance suddenly became noisy. I looked up, almost falling off the sofa. Oh my god, it's the white moonlight, Yitang again? Not only did she appear, but she also brought a noisy group of young men and women into the bar. She was wearing a tight, short dress and heavy, garish makeup, looking nothing like the sad, suicidal figure from earlier. Oh no, if Fu Linchuan sees this, what will happen? If the white moonlight's image is shattered, my divorce plan will be ruined. I quickly rushed over to cover his eyes. "Hubby, I feel dizzy, let's go home." Fu Linchuan steadily supported me, his hand on my waist. "Are you really dizzy, or are you pretending?" "Really, I'm very dizzy." I hugged him tightly, trying to block his view of the entrance. Fu Linchuan suddenly smiled, leaning close to my ear. "Jai Wanwen, your acting is terrible." I stiffened. He saw everything. Just then, the bar music switched to a more lively tune. I turned my head to see Yitang and another scantily clad girl already on stage, writhing to the music. Below, everyone was screaming, whistling, and cheering enthusiastically. Yitang was dancing wildly, her short dress almost flying up. There was no trace of her earlier sadness or suicidal tendencies. I secretly glanced at Fu Linchuan, his face as cold as ice. It's over. The white moonlight's image has completely collapsed. I was trying to figure out how to salvage the situation when Yitang unexpectedly saw us. Her movements on stage froze. The music continued, but she seemed to have been put on pause, her face turning pale. A second later, she jumped off the stage and staggered towards us. Linchuan, let me explain. Fu Linchuan calmly took a sip of his soda and said, "All right, go ahead." Yitang choked, glanced around, then pointed directly at me. "Didn't she drag you here? Isn't stealing you enough? Now you want to ruin things for us too? What kind of logic is that?" I was about to speak when Yitang suddenly snatched a glass of wine from someone nearby and threw it directly at my face. The cold liquid ran down my face. I was stunned for 2 seconds, then reflexively blurted out, "Wine? How refreshing." Fu Linchuan immediately jumped up and shoved Yitang. "Are you crazy?" Yitang staggered back. Her girlfriends with her clamored, "How dare you push her? Do you not want your hand anymore?" The scene immediately turned chaotic. I was using the handkerchief Fu Linchuan had given me to wipe my face when I heard Zia Xiang's booming shout. "What are you doing?" I turned around to see Zia Xiang leading 3 burly bodyguards, standing in front of me like a human wall. Oh my, when did my sister get bodyguards? Bar owner jumped onto the stage, grabbed a microphone, and yelled, "No fighting, my bar has a direct hotline to the police. Fight, and the police will be here in 3 minutes. Yitang clutched where she'd been pushed, her eyes tearful. "Linchuan, you never treated me like this before." Fu Linchuan said coldly, "You were the one who splashed wine on my wife's face first." "Wife?" Yitang's voice was shrill and piercing. "You call her your wife, but what about me? What about all our years of feelings?" "Yitang," Fu Linchuan interrupted, "have you read all the emails I sent you?" Yitang froze. "You wrote in your letters that you missed me, loved me, couldn't eat or sleep." Fu Linchuan's voice was frighteningly calm. "But what did you do after sending those letters? I checked. You went to parties, raced cars, and basked in the admiring glances of others." Yitang's face grew paler and paler. "Linchuan, let me explain." "No need," Fu Linchuan said, taking my hand. "Tonight, I brought my wife out. Meeting you was just a coincidence. It's actually a good chance for me to clarify things." He glanced around, his voice cold and clear, enunciating each word. "The feelings between us ended the moment we broke up. I don't consider you a friend, and I don't want to bring up the past. From now on, I hope you won't try to interfere between me and my wife, Jai Wanwen." With that, he held my hand, turned, and walked away. From behind, Yitang's shrill voice rang out, "Fu Linchuan, you'll regret this." As soon as we stepped out of the bar, a bone-chilling wind swept over me, making me shiver. Suddenly, Fu Linchuan paused, turning to look at me. "Wanwen." He gently wiped away the remnants of wine on my face. His deep, warm voice echoed, "Can you promise me one thing?" "What is it?" "You can choose not to say anything, but you must never lie to me." His stern gaze made me feel a little dazed. I didn't know why, but I nodded in agreement. "I promise." Fu Linchuan smiled faintly. That smile made my heart skip a beat. "Thank you." I was bewildered. "Thank you?" Even though I'm still deceiving him, his hand was still on my cheek, his fingers gently brushing the corner of my lips, which still held a faint taste of wine. My heart suddenly hammered, and I hastily stepped back. "Hubby, where are we going now?" I stammered, deliberately changing the subject. Fu Linchuan glanced at his watch. "It's still early. Shall we go watch the fireworks?" "Fireworks?" My eyes suddenly lit up. The original plot mentioned that every year he and Yitang would go to the riverside to watch the New Year's Eve fireworks together. That was their most important love memory. "Yes, yes, yes." I nodded furiously, overjoyed. This time, he'll definitely feel a pang of longing for his white moonlight. I just know it. Fu Linchuan raised an eyebrow, looking at me. "That happy?" "Of course." I blinked innocently. "Spending New Year's with my beloved husband is the happiest thing in the world." Oh God, as soon as I said that, I wanted to throw up immediately because of my own phoniness. There were already quite a lot of people gathered by the river. I was wearing my thin sequin dress and shivering with cold, but I still gritted my teeth, enduring it to watch the drama unfold. Achoo! Finally, I couldn't hold it in and sneezed loudly. Fu Linchuan frowned, taking off his jacket and draping it over me. "Cold, why didn't you say so earlier?" His jacket, carrying his body warmth, immediately enveloped me, and a pleasant, faint scent of cologne wafted into my nose. I was stunned. Since when did this man become so thoughtful? "Thank you, hubby." I deliberately snuggled into him to tease him. To my surprise, Fu Linchuan took the opportunity to wrap his arm around my waist, pulling me close to him. Stand a little closer, it'll be warmer. Asterisk, huh? Something about this development feels wrong. Suddenly, there was a woof woof. I looked down to see a husky rubbing against my leg, its mischievous blue eyes both silly and incredibly adorable. Ah, a puppy. I immediately forgot my act, squatting down to pat the dog's head. The enthusiastic husky licked my hand, its tail wagging nonstop. I burst out laughing, completely forgetting to maintain my image. You like dogs that much? Fu Linchuan's voice came from above. I love them so much, I replied without thinking, especially the small, fluffy ones, they're irresistibly cute. As soon as I said it, I realized my slip of the tongue and quickly tried to cover it up. I mean, all small animals look cute, you know? Fu Linchuan chuckled softly, not exposing me. Bang! The first firework exploded in the night sky, brilliant golden streaks raining down like a waterfall. I looked up, unable to suppress a gasp. Wow, oh my God, it's so beautiful, I cried out, and as soon as the words left my mouth, I realized I'd spoken too freely again. Unexpectedly, Fu Linchuan hugged me from behind, resting his chin on the top of my head. Jai Wanwen. Yes, Happy New Year. His voice was as light as a breath, blending with the booming fireworks, almost inaudible. My heart skipped a beat. This posture was so ambiguous. My back pressed against his chest. I could feel his warmth even through our clothes. Happy New Year, I stammered, my ears burning red. Another volley of fireworks bloomed, their brilliant golden light illuminating Fu Linchuan's profile. I secretly peeked at him. He wasn't even looking at the fireworks, his gaze fixed intently on me. When our eyes met, I panicked and quickly lowered my head, my heart pounding like a drum. This isn't good, this is really not good. Shouldn't he be thinking of Yitang? Why is he looking at me like this? On the way home, I pretended to be engrossed in my phone, avoiding his gaze. Zia Xiang's messages were over 99 plus. How are you two doing? Your husband is ridiculously handsome, that protective stance. Yitang must be fuming, ha ha ha. Where's the contract relationship now? I secretly peeked at Fu Linchuan driving. Under the streetlights, the sharp contours of his face were clearly visible like a Dao Qi sculpture. He really was handsome. Wait, what am I thinking? This is the man I plan to divorce. Had enough staring? Fu Linchuan suddenly asked. I quickly lowered my head. Who's staring at you? I'm just replying to messages. Fu Linchuan chuckled softly, saying nothing more. It was almost 2 a.m. when we got home. I tiptoed, intending to sneak into the living room to sleep, but Fu Linchuan stopped me. Where are you going? Sleep, just sleep, where else? My eyes darted around. He directed his gaze towards the master bedroom and said, We've been married for 3 years. Do you plan to keep sleeping separately like this? I felt a shock run through my scalp. The most dreadful moment had finally arrived. Hubby, I quickly made an excuse. I'm on my period. Fu Linchuan narrowed his eyes slightly. You just said you had it last week. I can't believe he remembers that. I have a hormonal imbalance, I stammered, scrambling for a cover-up. Fu Linchuan suddenly moved closer, pinning me between himself and the wall. Jai Wanwen, you promised not to lie to me. I swallowed hard. The proximity was too close. His breath, mixed with his cologne, made me feel dizzy. I. Just as I felt my breath hitch, the doorbell rang. Fu Linchuan and I simultaneously turned our heads towards the door. Who could be visiting at this hour? Fu Linchuan released me and went to open the door. I quickly hid on the sofa, lying down and pretending to be asleep, but my ears were strained, listening intently. Vice President Fu, there are important documents that need your urgent signature. It was an unfamiliar man's voice. I subtly opened my eyes, seeing Fu Linchuan at the door, signing papers, his eyebrows slightly furrowed, his expression very serious. After signing, he glanced at me, sighed softly, then gently covered me with a thin blanket. Go to sleep, we'll talk about everything tomorrow. He whispered, then turned and entered the master bedroom. I breathed a sigh of relief, curling up in the blanket. Finally, I escaped tonight. The next morning, I woke up to the delicious smell of food. Rubbing my eyes, I walked out to the dining room. The first thing I saw was Fu Linchuan wearing an apron in the kitchen. The morning sunlight streamed through the window, casting a gentle, golden outline around him. That moment was so warm it made me pause. Was this really the cold CEO I knew? You're awake? He didn't turn around, just said, Go wash up, breakfast is almost ready. I stood rooted to the spot. Nowhere in the original text did it say he could cook. On the table were fried eggs, bacon, and toast, along with a steaming hot glass of milk. I cautiously took a bite. Wow, it's really good, hubby, you cook so well. I deliberately cooed, trying to make him disgusted. Fu Linchuan calmly took a sip of coffee. I'll cook for you every day from now on. I choked on my milk. Cough, 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 what? He handed me a tissue. Drink slowly. I looked at him with suspicious eyes. What kind of medicine did this man take today? Why did his personality change so drastically? While still dazed, my phone vibrated rapidly. Zia Xiang was calling as if being chased. Hello? I went out to the balcony to answer. Wanwen, you're trending. Her voice was so loud it almost deafened me. Someone accused you of being a third party, interfering between Fu Linchuan and Yitang. Huh, trending for what? My hand trembled, almost dropping the phone. Zia Xiang spoke rapidly, like a machine gun. A blogger named Hurricane 8 Minutes posted a long expose about you, saying you ruined Fu Linchuan and Yitang's relationship, and even provided a bunch of fake screenshots of messages. I quickly opened Weibo to check. The top 3 trending topics immediately appeared before my eyes. Fu Group CEO's wife steals husband, usurps position. I clicked on the long article by Hurricane 8 Minutes, which depicted me as a harmless, white lotus. It claimed I seduced Fu Linchuan, plotted to separate him and Yitang, and even included fake screenshots of messages. The comments section was full of insults. Knowing he had a girlfriend and still butting in, aren't you ashamed? I heard she's very ordinary in real life, probably just good in bed. Poor Yitang, her childhood sweetheart stolen by someone like this. I was so angry my hands were trembling. I was about to retort when Zia Xiang yelled again, "Don't read anymore, you've lost 50,000 followers." I frantically switched to my profile page. Yesterday, I had 150,000 followers. Now it's just over 100,000. I'll post a clarification right away. I gritted my teeth, then hung up the phone. I rushed into the study, turned on my laptop, and typed furiously. After 2 hours of editing, I uploaded a video response, clearly outlining the entire timeline. Fu Linchuan and I met through a blind date. At that time, he had already broken up with Yitang 6 months prior. After posting, I leaned back in my chair, exhausted. Looking up, I noticed Fu Linchuan had appeared behind me at some point, holding a glass of warm milk. Hubby, I immediately switched to my innocent act. Why didn't you knock? He placed the milk on the table and leaned down to look at my computer screen. Is this your game blog account? I quickly closed the tab. Ahaha, I just play for fun. He held my hand. Don't close it, I'm looking at the comments. On the screen was the latest comment. What good is a clarification? Yitang is just Vice President Fu's childhood sweetheart. It's not a big deal. Fu Linchuan frowned slightly. He immediately took out his phone and called, Secretary Li, create a Weibo account for me right now. Just 10 minutes later, an official Weibo account named Fu Linchuan, with a gold verification checkmark officially appeared. The first post read, Jai Wanwen and I are legally and morally married. All baseless rumors will be handled by the Fu Group's legal department. It was accompanied by a photo of our marriage certificate. Personal information was blurred, but the date was clearly visible. Indeed, I had married him 6 months after he broke up with Yitang. I looked at him in surprise. You don't have to go that far. Fu Linchuan gently stroked my head. You're my wife. Those 5 simple words stirred a little emotion in my heart. Before I could finish being moved, my phone started vibrating continuously. The Fu Group's official account had reshared his post, tagging the legal department. Immediately after, more than a dozen artists represented by the group also simultaneously reshared it. Notifications on my phone poured in like a storm. My follower count soared, surpassing 200,000 in an instant. Zia Xiang sent a string of messages filled with exclamation marks. WTF, your husband is too handsome for his own good. Before I could reply, Fu Linchuan gently took my phone away. Don't look anymore, get some rest. He led me to the living room and turned on the TV. The news was reporting on Yitang's family. The Yi group was facing a severe crisis due to a broken financial chain. Today, Miss Yitang of the Yi family officially announced her engagement to young Master Zhao Zio of the Zhao family. I subtly glanced at Fu Linchuan, seeing he still maintained a cold expression, even seeming to want a smile. Hubby, I probed, aren't you sad? Fu Linchuan looked at me with a puzzled expression. Sad about what? Yitang, she. Jai Wanwen, he suddenly leaned closer. Don't tell me you still think I have feelings for her. I was speechless. The original text clearly stated he was deeply in love, unable to forget Yitang. Now the plot has changed so fast even the author probably wouldn't recognize it. Fu Linchuan suddenly pinched my cheek. What kind of nonsense do you think about all day? I tried to avoid him, but he pulled me straight into his arms. I could feel his steady heartbeat through his shirt, strong and vibrant. Wanwen, his deep, husky voice resonated. Let's treat each other well, okay? I froze in his embrace. Treat each other well? Does that mean no more talk of divorce? What about my several billion in compensation then? While I was still in a daze, the doorbell rang. Fu Linchuan went to open the door, and when he returned, he was carrying a cage. This is... My eyes widened. Fu Linchuan opened the cage, and a soft, fluffy husky puppy wobbled out, charging straight for my feet. Oh my goodness! I cried out, hugging the puppy and nuzzling its adorable face. Fu Linchuan leaned against the wall, watching me, his eyes full of laughter. It's a gift for you. I looked up at him. The morning sun shone from behind him, casting a warm golden glow over his entire body. The little puppy in my arms gently licked my finger, tickling me slightly. In that moment, a thought fleetingly crossed my mind. Living like this wouldn't be so bad after all. Suddenly, the puppy peed right into my palm. Fu Linchuan couldn't help but laugh out loud. He handed me a tissue. Name it, dear. As I wiped my hand, I thought, how about money? I'm kidding. I stuck out my tongue. Let's call him Yuan Bao. It's cute and brings good luck. Fu Linchuan shook his head slightly, appearing exasperated, but his eyes were unusually gentle. In the evening, I leaned on the sofa, hugging Yuan Bao and watching TV, while Fu Linchuan was busy cooking in the kitchen. The whirring of the range hood, the sizzling of the wok, the soft whimpering of the puppy, all these sounds blended together, creating an unusually cozy atmosphere. Dinner's ready, dear. Fu Linchuan brought out the food. I curiously went closer to see. It was my favorite sweet and sour pork ribs. Oh, how did you know I like this dish? I asked in surprise. Fu Linchuan picked up a rib for me. The other day, when I went to your house, your mother told me. I froze for a few seconds. In the original story, Fu Linchuan never cared about the original character's family. He even looked down on them. When did you go to my house? Mid-meal, Fu Linchuan suddenly put down his chopsticks. Jai Wanwen, I have something to tell you. My heart pounded. Here it comes, here it comes. Is he going to ask for a divorce? Oui. Ding dong. The doorbell rang again. Fu Linchuan frowned and went to open the door. I heard his voice, full of surprise. Mom, Dad, why are you two here? My hands suddenly trembled. My chopsticks slipped and fell to the floor. His in-laws are here. In the original text, Fu Linchuan's parents were supposed to despise the original character. I quickly tidied my hair, forced a bright smile, and obediently stepped out to greet them. Hello, Mom and Dad. Mother Fu glanced at me, then immediately went to take her son's hand. Linchuan, what are all these rumors online, son? Father Fu snorted coldly. I told you a poor girl isn't worthy. Now our stock prices are plummeting. I stood still, my hands and feet icy cold, just as I expected. Fu Linchuan suddenly clasped my hand, then turned and said, Mom, Dad, Wanwen is my wife. All those things are just rumors. I've already handled them. Father Fu finally looked at me, his gaze scrutinizing. I heard you're always showing off online. Before I could explain, Fu Linchuan quickly spoke up. Wanwen is a game review blogger. She's very capable. I was stunned. He's defending me? Father Fu was about to say something more when Yuan Bao unexpectedly rushed over and bit his leather shoe with a chomp asterisk, making him yelp in pain. What is this thing? Father Fu exclaimed in surprise. That's your grandson, Dad, Fu Linchuan said, his face unchanging. Mother Fu shrieked in alarm. You too have a child, Fu Linchuan calmly added, my dog grandson. The awkward encounter ended with Father Fu angrily leaving. As my mother-in-law left, she pressed a red envelope into my hand and whispered, try to give us a grandson soon. After seeing off my in-laws, I tiredly collapsed onto the sofa. Oh no, your parents must hate me even more now. Fu Linchuan sat down beside me and comforted me. They just don't understand you yet. I turned to him and asked, why did you defend me just now? Fu Linchuan looked at me for a moment, then unexpectedly reached out and gently stroked my cheek. Because you're Jai Wanwen. His hand was warm, his gaze intent, making my heart skip a beat and my face flush. I'm going to feed Yuan Bao now. I awkwardly jumped up, almost tripping over the coffee table. Fu Linchuan chuckled softly, his quiet laughter making my ears turn even redder. At night, I lay on the bed, hugging Yuan Bao, my mind replaying Fu Linchuan's gestures from that day, protecting me, his gentle eyes, and that question, can we live well together? Woof woof. Yuan Bao suddenly barked twice, pulling me back to reality. I stroked his head and said, you think he was strange today too, right? Yuan Bao tilted his head, his blue eyes seeming to say, humans are so silly. I sighed and picked up my phone. The hot topic had changed to, Fu Group CEO protects his beloved wife. I clicked on it, only to see comments praising us as a perfect match. Zia Xiang sent a string of messages with exclamation marks. Oh my god, you're famous. Brands want to invite you to be their spokesperson. I sent back a sticker, my heart a jumble of emotions. If Fu Linchuan really didn't want a divorce anymore, then the billions in compensation I'd longed for would vanish into thin air. As I was agonizing over this, my phone lit up with a message from Fu Linchuan. Asleep yet, dear? My hand suddenly trembled, dropping the phone onto my face. I scowled and typed back, not yet, come open the door. My heart pounded. I tiptoed to open the door. Outside, Fu Linchuan was wearing pajamas, holding a glass of warm milk. Can't sleep? He asked gently. I nodded faintly, taking the milk from him. His hand unexpectedly touched my forehead. Why is your face so red? Do you have a fever? And no, not at all. I hastily stepped back, bumping into the shoe cabinet with a clang. Fu Linchuan sighed gently, then suddenly scooped me up. Ah, I shrieked, almost spilling the milk. What are you doing? You're so clumsy. He carried me and placed me on the bed, carefully pulling the blanket over me. Go to sleep, dear. I snuggled deep into the blanket, only daring to peek at him with two eyes. Aren't you going back to your room? Fu Linchuan raised an eyebrow slightly. This is the master bedroom. It was then that I realized, in my nervousness, I had accidentally entered the wrong room. I'm going to the living room right away. I quickly tried to sit up. Fu Linchuan held me back. Sleep here. With that, he turned to leave. As if possessed, I grabbed the hem of his pajama top. You stay too. As soon as I said it, I immediately regretted it. Am I crazy? Fu Linchuan turned to look at me, his eyes deep. Jai Wanwen, do you know what you're saying? I swallowed hard, nodding bashfully. Yuan Bao wants to sleep with both mom and dad. In the end, he still lay down beside me. Little Yuan Bao lay between us. In the quiet night, I clearly heard his steady breathing and my own pounding heart. Fu Linchuan, I whispered softly. What did you mean today when you said, let's live well together? He was silent for a moment, then suddenly turned to face me. It means exactly what I said. The faint moonlight filtered through the curtain, illuminating his face. Looking at him so closely, a thought suddenly crossed my mind. Could this cold, indifferent man from the original story have actually developed feelings for me? The thought made my head spin, completely blank. His words, let's live well together, echoed in my head all night. I tossed and turned, unable to fall asleep. It wasn't until almost dawn that I drifted off. Woof, woof, woof. Yuan Bao's loud barking woke me up. I rubbed my eyes and sat up, realizing Fu Linchuan was no longer in bed. There was a message on my phone. Urgent matter at the company. Breakfast is in the microwave. I hugged Yuan Bao, lost in thought for a long time. Everything that happened last night felt like a dream. The man who was once cruel and heartless in the story was now saying he wanted to live properly with me. Ding dong, the doorbell rang. I shuffled out in my slippers to open the door. Zia Xiang burst into the room like a whirlwind. Wanwen, you're really famous now. 3 brands are fighting over you to be their spokesperson. She showed me her phone. My follower count had surpassed 300,000 and my inbox was flooded with collaboration offers. It's all thanks to your hubby. Zia Xiang blinked repeatedly. His protecting his wife stunt yesterday was truly legendary. I could only force a dry laugh, my heart a tangled mess. The more Fu Linchuan tried to protect me, the more guilty I felt. Because from the very beginning, my only purpose in approaching him was to get money after the divorce. Oh, and by the way, Zia Xiang leaned closer, whispering conspiratorially, Yi Tang's family just announced bankruptcy. I heard her wedding to Zhao Zio was also cancelled. I was stunned. That fast. In the original plot, even if the Yi family had problems, they wouldn't collapse so quickly. Zia Xiang's curiosity surged. I heard the Fu group bought most of the Yi family's shares. Now Yi Tang's father probably has to bow and scrape to Fu Linchuan. Clang, the glass of milk in my hand dropped to the floor and shattered. Fu Linchuan went and acquired Yi Tang's family company? This completely contradicts the original plot. In the story, wasn't he always deeply infatuated with that white moonlight figure? How could he be so ruthless? After Zia Xiang left, I sat in a daze on the balcony. Yuan Bao lay gnawing on a toy at my feet, the gentle afternoon sun warm on my skin, yet my heart felt like a tangled mess. Fu Linchuan's recent strange actions, his unexpected thoughtfulness, those gentle glances, and that phrase, let's live well together. Could he really have fallen for me? Just thinking about it made my heart pound. I quickly shook my head. No way, there must be something wrong. In the evening, Fu Linchuan returned home, carrying a box of pastries. Hubby, I reflexively flashed a sweet smile and ran to greet him. What did you buy for me? Strawberry shortcake. He handed it to me. You said you were craving it last time. I was stunned. It was true, I had casually mentioned it half a month ago. He actually remembered. Thank you, hubby. I hugged the cake box, spinning around happily. Yuanbao barked nonstop, chasing my skirt. Fu Linchuan sat down at the dining table and suddenly said, "Have you gained weight recently?" My hand jumped, almost dropping the cake box. This hateful man, his true colors show right after a compliment. "Yes, I have." I gritted my teeth, forcing a smile. "Then let's go to the gym and work out together." He remained silent, instead pulling out a stack of documents from his briefcase and pushing them towards me. Divorce papers. His voice was unusually calm. "Jai Wanwen, let's break up." A buzzing sound filled my head. I felt dizzy as if struck by lightning. The cake box in my hand fell to the floor with a thud. What?" My voice cracked with panic. Fu Linchuan maintained a calm expression. "If you're used to living here, you can continue to stay. I'll move out. As for the other houses and cars, you can choose whichever ones you like." He paused, then continued, "My personal account doesn't have much money, but I'll leave it all to you. We can keep the divorce private for a year, and during that time, you can date whoever you want." I stared at him, feeling a heavy stone weighing down my chest. "Last night you said you wanted to live well together, but this morning you're asking for a divorce. Why?" I heard my own voice ask. "Is it because Yi Tang canceled her engagement? Are you still hung up on her? Do you want to get back together with her?" Fu Linchuan shook his head, denying it. "This has nothing to do with her." Liar. I suddenly jumped up, tears streaming down my face. "Yesterday you clearly said." "Jai Wanwen," he cut me off. "Haven't you always wanted a divorce?" I froze, standing rooted to the spot. "If you didn't know how to bring it up, let me do it for you." Fu Linchuan's voice was terrifyingly cold. "You were obedient and well-behaved, never made a fuss, and even tried to help me and Yi Tang get back together. Wasn't it all so you could get a larger settlement during the divorce?" I felt as if I'd been struck by lightning again. You knew everything? Now you've achieved your goal." He stood up. "I only have one request. In the future, if you encounter any difficulties, don't try to bear it alone. Remember to come to me." I stood there like a statue, tears blurring everything around me. Fu Linchuan turned to leave. I suddenly lunged forward, grabbing the cake box, intending to throw it at his face, but my hand stopped halfway. I couldn't do it. Bastard. I threw the cake box forcefully to the ground, turned, and ran straight into the bedroom, burying my face in the bed and sobbing hysterically. The billions in divorce money, financial freedom, all gone. Now I just want to punch that scumbag Fu Linchuan to vent my anger. Suddenly, the mattress dipped. Fu Linchuan was sitting on the edge of the bed, gently stroking my hair. "Jai Wanwen, don't cry anymore." "Stay away from me." I swatted his hand away. Fu Linchuan sighed, seemingly about to get up. I suddenly lunged, pushing him firmly onto the bed. "I'm not divorcing." I sat on top of him, tears streaming nonstop. "Fu Linchuan, I'm telling you, forget about getting back with Yi Tang. If you dare to divorce me, I'll hang myself right in front of your company gates. You're only allowed to be with me for the rest of your life. Do you hear me?" Fu Linchuan knew I was pretending, yet he was still good to me, cooked for me, even gave me a dog, and even stood up to protect me. Fu Linchuan burst out laughing, his smile so bright it almost blinded me. "Because I like you, you silly girl." I was stunned. The male lead from the original story, a man who was cold, ruthless, and hated the original character, said he liked me? When did it start?" I stammered. "From the first time you brought me food," Fu Linchuan said, playing with a strand of my hair. "The food was terrible, too salty, but you pretended to be a good cook." My eyes widened. That was the first day I transmigrated into the story. I followed a recipe online and accidentally put in 3 times the salt. He actually ate it all? "Yes," he nodded. "After that, I secretly drank 3 bottles of water." I punched him angrily. "Then why didn't you expose me sooner?" Fu Linchuan took my hand and kissed my fingertips. "Because I found your acting amusing." Later, his eyes suddenly darkened. "When I knew you truly wanted a divorce, I just wanted to see how far you'd go." I thought back to all the ridiculous things I'd done over the past year and just wanted to find a hole to crawl into. "So, the bar incident that day, you intentionally took me there?" He chuckled softly. "I knew Yi Tang would come." "And as for the online rumors, I had a clarification prepared long ago." He gently kissed the tip of my nose. "I was just waiting for you to get impatient and make a fuss." I gritted my teeth. "Fu Linchuan, you dared to tease me? That makes us even." He pinned me down again, a mischievous grin on his face. "Madam Fu, did you have fun playing over the past year?" I turned my face away. "No fun." "Really?" His hands began to wander. "Then who said they wanted to sleep with Mom and Dad last night?" My face flushed bright red like a ripe tomato. "Yuan Bao said it." Woof, Yuan Bao, I'm not taking responsibility for this. Fu Linchuan chuckled, his hot breath caressing my ear. Jai Wanwen, do you still want a divorce now? I bit my lip, silent. No answer. His hands became even more playful. So you still want a divorce, huh? No, no divorce. My voice trembled, as small as a mosquito's buzz. I can't hear you clearly. No divorce anymore, I yelled, my face red. Never divorcing, ever. Finally, Fu Linchuan was satisfied. He leaned down and kissed me. This kiss was gentle and passionate, completely different from his earlier fervor. After the kiss, I weakly leaned against his chest, trying to regulate my breathing. Yuan Bao obediently gnawed on his toy, silently retreating to the living room. Fu Linchuan suddenly remembered something important. I spoke up. What about your parents? Everything's fine, he said, gently stroking my head. My mother gave you a red envelope. Inside is a check enough to buy a dozen luxury bags. No wonder it felt so thin. As for Yi Tang, she's just a childhood friend. He gently pinched my cheek. She was never my white moonlight or anything, I pouted. Then why did you go abroad for her? I went to study, he explained helplessly. It had nothing to do with her. I was completely astonished. So from beginning to end, it was all a misunderstanding by the original character? Last question, I raised a finger. Why do you like me? Fu Linchuan pondered for a moment, then replied, because you're silly. You clearly try to act gentle and virtuous but always show your flaws. You clearly like money, yet you never used the supplementary card I gave you. You clearly. He hesitated. You clearly like me a lot, but you pretend not to care. I retorted indignantly, who likes you? Don't like me? He pretended to stand up. Then let's get a divorce. I quickly lunged and hugged him tightly. No way, Fu Linchuan laughed heartily, pulling me into his embrace. Jai Wanwen, you really are? Before he could finish his sentence, my stomach growled with a grumble. Hungry? He raised an eyebrow. I nodded miserably. The cake I had earlier fell and disappeared. Fu Linchuan stood up. Wait a moment, I'll make you some noodles. Looking at his busy back in the kitchen, I suddenly thought, living like this for the rest of my life doesn't seem bad at all. Not getting those few billions in divorce money is fine. Instead, I have Fu Linchuan. It seems like an even better deal. Hubby? I peeked into the kitchen. Can I live stream you cooking? My fans are waiting to see you. Fu Linchuan didn't turn around. No, just 5 minutes. No, then can I have a kiss? Fu Linchuan turned, lifted me, and placed me on the kitchen counter, giving me a passionate kiss. Done broadcasting? He asked breathlessly. I shook my head dazedly. Not broadcasting anymore. And so, Fu Linchuan and I began our sweet life unabashedly. As for that divorce agreement, Yuan Bao had long since chewed it up into a toy. Extra Story 1, Yuan Bao's Woes. I am Yuan Bao, a very intelligent husky. Recently, my human parents have been clinging to each other all day, seriously affecting my life. For example, right now, Mom is secretly watching Dad cook. She's leaning against the kitchen doorway, fidgeting as if a tail is about to sprout. Oh, I forgot, humans don't have tails. Hubby, her voice was sickly sweet. Can I live stream you cooking? No, Dad replied, not even turning around. Just 5 minutes. No, then just one kiss. Dad spun around and lifted her onto the kitchen counter. The next scene was truly an insult to my dog eyes. I had no choice but to cover my face with my paws. After they finished kissing, I still hadn't eaten anything. Annoyed, I picked up my bowl and clanked it against the floor. Finally, Mom remembered my existence. Oh, Yuan Bao is hungry, baby. Dad sighed and went to get my food. While I was wolfing down my meal, I heard Mom say, Hubby, maybe we should find a friend for Yuan Bao. My ears perked up. A friend? Does that mean I'll have a new dog friend to play with? You want to get another dog? Dad asked. No, Mom blushed. I mean, a baby. Clang, my bowl fell to the floor. What? They want to have a human child? No, absolutely not. I ran circles around their legs, protesting vehemently, but Dad just laughed. All right. All right, my foot. Kids will pull my ears, steal my toys, and even throw up in my food bowl. That night, I curled up anxiously in my bed, listening to their whispered conversation in the bedroom. Yuan Bao seems unhappy, Mom said. He's just not used to it yet, Dad chuckled. Once the baby is born, he'll be a good big brother. Big brother? Sounds kind of important. The next day, Mom took me for a full health checkup. The doctor said I was perfectly healthy and very suitable to live with children. On the way home, Mom stroked my head. Yuan Bao, you're going to be a big brother soon. I licked her hand. Well, if it's my sibling, I guess I'll reluctantly take care of it. A few months later, a tiny creature appeared in our house, crying, crawling, and giggling as it tugged at my fur. Noticing that mom gave me an extra piece of jerky every day, I decided I would be a good dog brother. Extra story 2, CEO Fu's first livestream. Please, just 1 minute. Jai Wanwen held her phone, running around Fu Linchuan begging him, all my fans are so eager to see your face. Fu Linchuan didn't look up, continuing to sign documents. Absolutely not. Don't you know how many followers I've lost? Jai Wanwen pouted. They're scolding me for hiding my handsome boyfriend. Fu Linchuan's signing hand paused. Hiding a handsome boyfriend? Meaning I'm super handsome, right? The girl seized the opportunity, leaning close. Just show your face and say hello, that's all. Fu Linchuan put down his pen. What's in it for me? Jai Wanwen winked playfully. Tonight I'll wear the black stockings you bought me. 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, Jai Wanwen's livestream room exploded with excitement. Oh my god, isn't that CEO Fu? My handsome husband, I'm fainting. Wanwen, move aside, you're blocking my CEO Fu. Fu Linchuan faced the camera, his expression stone cold. Hello everyone, I am Wanwen's husband. The comments flooded in. Oh heavens, his voice is also deadly charming. He's looking directly at the camera. I'm done for. Wanwen must have saved the entire universe in her past life. Jai Wanwen was smug. Isn't my husband the most handsome man in the world? Fu Linchuan unexpectedly wrapped his arm around her waist and said to the screen, Thank you for loving Wanwen, but please don't call her my wife anymore. That title is reserved only for me. Comments exploded. OMG, can you believe it? He's jealous. This possessive type who can resist. This PDA is too much, I'm jealous of the main character. Jai Wanwen blushed fiercely. What nonsense are you saying? Fu Linchuan leaned down and placed a light kiss on her forehead, declaring his ownership. That night, Fu Linchuan's name shot straight to the #1 trending topic. Extra story 3. Plan for a second baby asterisk. Hubby, look how close Yuan Bao and the baby are playing. Jai Wanwen pointed to the rug where a dog and a baby were happily romping. Fu Linchuan looked up from his stack of documents and smiled faintly. I see. So, Jai Wanwen snuggled into his arms, how about we have another little one? Fu Linchuan raised an eyebrow. Another dog or another human? A human, of course. She blushed, playfully hitting his chest. I want a baby boy. Fu Linchuan closed his file, then gently lifted her and sat her on his lap. Then we'll have to work harder. Oh my god, it's still broad daylight, Jai Wanwen exclaimed. Does it have to be not daytime? His hands had already begun to unbutton her shirt. Ding dong, the doorbell rang loudly. Jai Wanwen frantically jumped up, quickly adjusting her clothes. Who is it? Outside, Fu Linchuan's parents stood, carrying various large and small bags. Mom and Dad. Jai Wanwen was utterly surprised. Why are you two here? Mother Fu smiled radiantly. We heard you two are planning to have another baby, so we came to visit. Father Fu cleared his throat. I brought some tonics. Jai Wanwen froze. How did you two know about this? Fu Linchuan came closer, calmly saying, I've been planning this for a long time. That night, Mother Fu cooked a table full of nourishing dishes. Father Fu pulled his son into a private room to pass on family secrets. As for Jai Wanwen, she just wished for a hole to crawl into. Yuan Bao sat beside her, looking at the overflowing bowl of stewed bones, drooling uncontrollably. Why is human life so complicated? Extra story 4, 5th wedding anniversary. Recently, Fu Linchuan noticed something fishy about Jai Wanwen. She often secretly took phone calls, and whenever she received a message, she'd dart into the bathroom. Sometimes, she would even giggle to herself while looking at her phone. Finally, on the night before their 5th wedding anniversary, Fu Linchuan couldn't take it anymore. What are you plotting? Jai Wanwen blinked innocently. Nothing at all. The next morning, Fu Linchuan was woken by Yuan Bao's barking. The other side of the bed was empty, only a small note remaining. My dear husband, come find me, the hint is under the pillow. Fu Linchuan raised an eyebrow, lifting the pillow. It was a photo taken at the restaurant where they had their first date. Upon arriving, a restaurant employee handed him a gift box with the next hint. And so, all morning, Fu Linchuan visited all the places that marked their shared memories. The park where he proposed, the marriage registration office, the hotel where their wedding was held. Finally, the clues led him back home. The moment the door opened, candlelight flickered throughout the room, and rose petals were scattered along the path. In that romantic setting, Jai Wanwen, wearing a pristine white wedding dress, stood in the living room with a radiant smile. Hubby, happy 5th wedding anniversary. She opened her arms wide. I'm giving you the biggest gift, me. Fu Linchuan's heart skipped a beat. He rushed over and hugged her tightly. So, you've been secretly preparing this all these days? Yes, she nodded softly, her eyes sparkling. How do you like it? Do you like it? Fu Linchuan gently leaned down and kissed her. I love it very much. Yuan Bao trotted over, a leash in his mouth, a small sign dangling from it that read, and me too. Fu Linchuan affectionately stroked the dog's head, saying gently, My dear wife, happy 5th anniversary to us. Jai Wanwen leaned into his arms, thinking, perhaps this is the fullest definition of happiness.